What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a brand new video. I kinda sorta promised that I'm gonna show you guys the full install of the tail tidy, but unfortunately I didn't end up doing that, and I'm gonna give you guys a bunch of reasons why I didn't do that. But before we get into all of that, let's first talk about this tail tidy. As you guys might know, I do like flip and dip quite a bit, and I had their tail tidy on my 650R as well, so I just had to get it for this beauty, right? The install itself wasn't too hard, but I got absolutely no instructions, and I messaged them and I was trying to see if maybe they forgot to add instructions or if they're like on their website or if I missed something, but apparently there's no instructions to this, so you just have to kind of guess. Obviously it's not guessing, but some parts of the install were pretty freaking hard to do, and we're gonna get to each one of them in a bit. First things first, you have to remove the rear seat and the front seat, obviously. The front seat's pretty easy. You got two holes right here, and the rear seat, or the seat cowl in this case, is obviously even easier than that. Once that's off, you're gonna find like two bolts like here and then two bolts somewhere over here. You have to unbolt it to kind of get this whole like fairing loose, and then you got like kind of like a clip here, so these two fairings are kind of clipped together. So what I did is I actually got rid of this screw right here, and then there's a black pin or something holding the fairing like somewhere up here, and basically I just got that loose, so the fairing itself was looser and it was easier to take apart. There's also like a rubber peg inside of this in between, which gives it like an extra hold, so you remove that first and then you find your way to like unclick it, and then once you unclick those, you just pull this whole fairing kind of backwards and up, and then you got access to everything. So that was obviously the easy part. Then you have to remove the original plate holder, which was also fairly easy. You just have kind of like two bolts from each side, like here and here, and then once you have those bolts, you can kind of slowly start pulling it downwards. And then obviously you can't forget to unplug your blinkers and your plate light, and you have to kind of take that apart as well. Also, when you're removing the OEM plate holder, don't forget these like clips or whatever. The plate kind of like clips into this thing, so yeah, just don't break that. And then when it comes to the install, I should have been smarter, and I should have put like all the parts together first and then bolted it onto the bike. Since you guys have the option to only buy the tail tidy and the blinker holder or adapter is optional and same as the light, I kind of just thought I could bolt it while having the tail tidy already on the bike. I just had to install the brackets after. As you can see, there's like bolts right in between right there, and then I installed the light as well, which kind of made it harder because the tail tidy was already on the bike, so I had to like kind of like move around and get to those spots, but it was still manageable. Once all those three things were bolted together, next up were the blinkers, and that's where I had my first real issue. And I gotta tell you guys, this thing was an absolute freaking pain in the ass. Oh my god. Obviously, you guys have to reuse the ones you got, or I guess you can order different ones, but you should be able to reuse the OEM ones that you bought with the bike. Basically, the OEM ones have this like rubber thingy, this part right here. So the rubber part is like wider on the end, a little thinner in the middle, and then wider at the other end as well. So you have to like put it in between the hole, and then you take your blinker with the cable, you push the cable through the rubber spacer, I guess you can call it, and then the other hole is for the actual screw, which screws in from the back. You have like a extra metal clip at the end of the rubber spacer, and you put your screw all the way through, and then you screw in the actual blinker with like the whole thing. So this thing cannot move. It moves like with the actual bracket. It's not moving by itself. I hope you guys can see that. Anyways, taking out those rubber spacers from the OEM plate holder and trying to put them in this like blinker adapter holder thingy was the freaking worst thing I've probably ever had to do on a bike. Basically, the whole issue was that these like rubber spacers are way too big for the blinker holders that Flip and Dip provides. I did manage to like shove the rubber part through it with a screwdriver, but after I did that, the whole rubber part ended up being too squished and I could not fit a cable and a screw to hold the blinker. So I removed the rubber spacer again and I contacted Flip and Dip and I was like, hey, are you guys supposed to like reuse this, or are you not supposed to reuse this? And he himself wasn't actually too sure, and he's like, you could give it a shot, I'm pretty sure you should be able to, but you know, like he didn't really say you can, but he didn't really say you cannot. I obviously tried installing it without the rubber spacer, but there was like no way for me to actually mount the blinker to the blinker holder, because the blinker holder has a decently big like oval hole, so it's meant for some sort of a spacer, but unfortunately it's not as big for the OEM ones to fit. So now you're like in the middle, like what do? Do I have to like buy more spacers from Flip and Dip, or do I like DIY this shit at home? What the frick do I do? What I ended up doing is I just took the spacers, took an X-Acto knife, and just fucking started cutting my way through. Almost lost 2 fingers. I'm not going to show you guys because I have gloves on already, but yeah, like I have like 2 large cuts. And I can't say I recommend doing what I did, because the rubber itself was like very freaking sturdy and it was super hard to cut through it even with an X-Acto knife. Anyways, I ended up cutting off a huge bit of it. You guys can't really see that because on the outside it looks good. It's just the inside looks pretty terrible, but hey, that's all covered by the tail tidy. Can't really see it, and it holds it, so it works. Even after cutting the spacer, it was super hard to fit it through the hole, but I did manage to do it. It doesn't look too great from the inside, but that's all covered by the tail tidy either way, so it doesn't matter. I got the cables to fit, obviously, and I got the bolt to fit as well. So as you guys can see, both of the blinkers completely sturdy, nothing wrong with that. Both are hooked up, both obviously work, even the plate light works, and I can still flip the plates while riding, so it's amazing. At the end of the day, I'm super happy with the tail tidy, and I'm super happy with the way it looks. It does kind of ruin the look of the exhaust because there used to be a cover right here, but hey, I'm installing an Austin Racing exhaust in like 3-4 weeks, so I'll be able to live with this for now, and then once that exhaust is on, it's definitely going to look even better. So yeah, super excited for that as well. And lastly, boys, the cable work, man. I took a lot of time with this to make it as perfect as possible. So this right blinker along with the static plate light are routed through the middle because there was enough cable, and then this left blinker cable for some reason was shorter than the right one. So what I ended up doing is I just routed it to the left side right away, and then zip tied all the cables together and started running them up and then under the fairing. And that's obviously all covered with electric tape, zip ties, made it all neat. Holy fuck, it's hot. I've been talking for like 15 minutes. I just gotta hop on the bike. Let's freaking go, boys. I am so thirsty. I feel more tired than after like an actual ride with this bike, which is crazy.
Also, boys, I got some pretty exciting news for you, and I probably should have started the video with this, but this is the last video of the bike when it's going to be being broken in.
So, you know what that means in the next video, huh?
Woo! 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 I'm going to get this bike serviced in 2 days, and I'm pretty sure you guys know what to expect from the next video. I'm still going to ease the bike into it a little bit, but hey, we're definitely going to test out how fast it goes, how it revs out, maybe even top speed, who knows. I know that was stupid for me to go fast there, but there's literally no one behind me. That lady could definitely wait.
Anyways, I already know what the 600RR feels like when it's fully unlocked, and that is the exact reason why I'm so freaking excited for it, boys. It is a completely different bike, obviously, because, well, shit, you can rev it out almost twice as much now. Yo, no way, I completely forgot my fucking plates are still flipped. Oh, there we go. Fixed it.
I don't mind flipping my plates up on the road here and there and just riding like that, but that's obviously not the main reason why I got it. I don't like running from cops. Maybe on the street if I know I want to ride really fast and I want to avoid all the speeding cameras, maybe then, but I don't have it to run from cops. I got it more for when I want to take pictures and videos of the bike, because it's just annoying to keep blurring out your plates every single time. On a picture it's not too hard, but in a video, and especially if you want to have it like perfect, it takes some time and it's annoying to constantly keep doing the same thing.
I say we give it the beans a little bit over here if we are able to make our way through this. Perfect. Almost didn't have to wait.
One of the last reasons why I also got this tail tidy is also because of the looks. You know, it just cleans up the whole rear of the bike. It looks better.
So yeah, even if it wasn't like a flippable tail tidy, I would still love the looks. And especially with the exhaust that's coming in, you know, that just is gonna clean up the whole rear.
It's just gonna make the bike look super nice from the back.
Honestly, even the stock plate holder for this bike isn't too bad. It is still a bit bulky, but it doesn't look too bad. It's not like huge like the ones that they put on the 650Rs. Like, those are absolutely disgusting. I wish I could ride the bike more today, but as you guys already know, this bike is going to be serviced in 2 days, and for the break-in service you cannot cross the 1,000-kilometer mark. So I'm just trying to be a little bit cautious. I think it'll take me like 30-40 kilometers to get home, plus the ride to Honda. So I think that'll be like just enough, like just under the 1,000-kilometer mark. So I need to start heading home, unfortunately. And if you guys did enjoy this one, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notifications, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace!